I'm 53 years old, sitting in a police station at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I just learned that my daughter has been lying to me for 7 years. Not small lies, not white lies, the kind of lie that requires planning, documents, a lawyer, the kind that turns your entire understanding of reality inside out while you're standing there, holding a cup of cold coffee, trying to remember how to breathe. The detective across from me has kind eyes, but she keeps them on her notepad. She's seen this before. Women like me, mothers who didn't know, mothers who should have known. Mrs. Patterson, she says gently, I need you to walk me through everything again, from the beginning. But I can't start at the beginning, because I don't know where the beginning is anymore. Was it 7 years ago when my daughter Claire sat me down in this very kitchen and told me she needed help? Was it when I liquidated my retirement account without a second thought? Was it the day I moved into the converted garage behind her house, telling myself it was temporary, that family takes care of family? Or was it yesterday afternoon, when a man I'd never met called my cell phone and said 5 words that split my life into before and after? I hear crying from your basement. Asterisk, let me back up. 7 years ago, my daughter Claire was 28, newly divorced, and drowning. That's what she told me. Drowning in debt from her ex-husband's gambling addiction. The house was going into foreclosure. She had maxed out credit cards she didn't even know existed. Her credit score was for 1.0. She came to me with papers. Official papers. Bank statements with red stamps. Letters from attorneys. A foreclosure notice dated and signed. Mom, she'd said, crying into her hands at my kitchen table. I know I have no right to ask this, but I'm going to lose everything. The house Dad helped me buy, everything. My husband had died 3 years earlier. Lung cancer. The house was his last gift to her. He'd helped with the down payment 2 months before his diagnosis. The thought of Claire losing it felt like losing him all over again. So I helped. I sold the condo I'd planned to retire in. I cashed out Jim's life insurance policy, the one I've been saving for emergencies. I moved into the converted garage behind Claire's house just temporarily, she said, until she got back on her feet. Maybe a year, 2 at most. You're saving my life, Mom, she'd whispered. I'll pay you back, every cent. I promise. The money went straight into an account she'd set up for debt consolidation. She showed me spreadsheets, payment plans, a budget written in her neat handwriting. I'm meeting with a financial counselor every month. She assured me, this is going to work. We're going to get through this together. I believed her because she was my daughter, because the papers looked real. Because what kind of person lies about something like this? Asterisk, year 1 became year 2, year 2 became year 5. I stopped asking when I could move back out. The question made her cry, made her anxious, triggered what she called financial trauma from the divorce. Her therapist, she told me she was seeing a therapist, said she needed stability, not pressure. So I stayed. I bought my own groceries and kept them in a mini fridge in the garage. I paid her rent for $100 a month, which she said went toward utilities and property tax. I babysat her to kids, my grandchildren, every Tuesday and Thursday evening while she attended credit counseling sessions downtown. I watched her come home with shopping bags. Not often, but sometimes. Clearance rack, she'd say with an embarrassed smile. I know I shouldn't, but the kids needed new shoes. I watched her take weekend trips. A friend's wedding, she'd explain. I'm in the bridal party. I can't say no. I watched her lease a new car. The Honda died. Mom, this was the only way I could get financing. My credit's still recovering. Every time doubt crept in, she had an answer, a reasonable explanation. And she'd show me the spreadsheets, the payment confirmations, the letters from the bank showing her progress. Look, she'd say, pointing to numbers I didn't quite understand. We've paid off $23,000 in the last 18 months. We're almost there. Just a little longer. She always said we, like I was part of the solution, like we were in this together, like my sacrifice was our shared burden. I kept waiting, kept trusting, kept sacrificing. I stopped going out to dinner with friends because I needed to save money. I stopped buying new clothes. I let my own health insurance lapse for 6 months because Claire said she was so close to paying off the last creditor. And then we could both breathe again. 7 years. I gave her 7 years. Asterisk, the call came on a Monday afternoon. I was folding laundry in the garage when my phone rang. A known number. I almost didn't answer. Is this Mrs. Patterson? Catherine Patterson? Yes. Who's this? My name is Derek Moreno. I own Moreno Landscaping. I've been doing lawn maintenance for your daughter for about 3 years now. Oh, I didn't know what to say. Claire had always handled the yard work herself, or so I thought. Is everything all right? Well, ma'am, I'm calling because I'm not sure how to say this. My stomach dropped. Is Claire okay? The kids? Everyone's fine. It's just, I was trimming the hedges near the basement window this morning, and I heard something, crying, like a child crying, coming from inside the basement. I laughed, relieved. Oh, that's probably just my grandson. He's 4. He throws tantrums. Mom, your daughter and the kids left about 20 minutes before I got here. I watched them drive away. I've been here for an hour and a half. The crying hasn't stopped. The laundry basket slipped from my hands. That's not possible. I know it sounds strange, but I'm standing outside right now, and I can still hear it. It's faint, but it's there. I tried calling your daughter, but she's not picking up. I found your number listed as an emergency contact in an old email she sent me. My heart was hammering. Have you tried the door? I wouldn't feel right going inside without permission. But ma'am, I really think someone should check. It doesn't sound right. I told him I'd be there in 5 minutes. I have keys to the main house. Claire insisted I have them for emergencies. I'd used them maybe twice in 7 years, once when she locked herself out. Once when I needed to grab something from the kitchen while she was away. I'd never been in the basement, not once. It's just storage, Claire had always said. Total disaster zone. I'm embarrassed to even open the door. Derek was waiting by the basement window when I arrived. He was around 40, wearing a company polo shirt, looking genuinely worried. It stopped about 5 minutes ago, he said. But I swear to you, I heard it. I unlocked the front door with shaking hands. The basement door was in the hallway, just past the kitchen. There was a keypad lock on it, one of those fancy electronic ones. I'd never questioned it before, for safety, Claire had said when she installed it. With the kids, I don't want them accidentally falling down the stairs. I didn't know the code. I called Claire. It rang for times, then went to voicemail. Claire, honey, it's Mom. Can you call me back? I need the code to the basement. It's important. I texted her the same thing. No response. Derek stood behind me, shifting his weight. Do you want me to call the police? No, let's not. There has to be an explanation. But my hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone. I tried her birthday, the kids' birthdays, her wedding anniversary. Nothing. Then I tried the code to the garage door, the one I used every day. 1952. The lock beeped green. The door swung open. The basement light was already on. And at the bottom of the stairs, I saw something that didn't make sense. Furniture, real furniture. A couch, a coffee table, a flat screen TV mounted on the wall. This wasn't storage. This was a living space. Double quotes, Mrs. Patterson. Derek's voice behind me sounded far away. I walked down the stairs like I was moving through water. The basement was finished, carpeted. There was a kitchenette in the corner with a mini fridge and a microwave. A bathroom door stood ajar, and against the far wall, a bedroom, a child's bedroom, with a twin bed covered in a pink comforter. Stuffed animals arranged carefully on the pillows. A bookshelf filled with children's books. A small desk with coloring books and crayons. And on the wall, in vinyl letters, Emma's room. Emma. My breath stopped. I didn't have a granddaughter named Emma. Claire had the boys, Jackson and Tyler. On the desk, there was a framed photograph. I picked it up with trembling hands. Claire, younger, maybe 7 years ago, holding a newborn baby wrapped in a pink blanket, written on the back in Claire's handwriting, Emma, 2 days old. I don't remember calling the police. Derek must have done it. I don't remember them arriving, or the questions they asked, or sitting down on the basement couch while they searched the room. I remember the Detective Lorraine Shaw, kneeling in front of me and speaking very slowly, very carefully. Mrs. Patterson, we found documents in the bedroom, birth certificate, medical records, school enrollment papers. Do you know a child named Emma Claire Patterson? I shook my head. She's 7 years old, born April 14, 2018. Mother listed as Claire Patterson. Father listed as unknown. 7 years old, 7 years. The detective showed me a school photo. A little girl with Claire's eyes and dark curly hair, smiling, missing a front tooth. Where is she? I whispered. Where's Emma? We're working on that. Your daughter isn't answering her phone. We've dispatched officers to her workplace. They found more. A calendar on the wall tracking Emma's schedule. Dotted lines indicating when she was at school. when she was at Aunt Rachel's, when she was in the basement, a logbook written in Claire's handwriting, documenting every day. Emma to school 7:45 a.m., pick up to 30 p.m., drop at ours house, retrieve 10 p.m., basement. Emma sick, kept home, basement all day, lunch at noon, dinner at 6. Emma asking about grandma again, told her grandma lives far away. Page after page after page, 7 years of pages. Detective Shaw's voice was gentle but firm. Mrs. Patterson, your daughter has been receiving state assistance for a single mother with 3 children for the past 7 years. The payments go directly into her account, approximately $1,800 per month. The room tilted. She's been receiving child support from Emma's father as well. We found the payment records. Another $600 per month, $2,400 a month, times 12 months, times 7 years, over to $100,000. The debt consolidation account you contributed to. Detective Shaw continued, we accessed the records with emergency authorization, Mrs. Patterson. There's currently $340,000 in that account, untouched. No debt payments were ever made from it. I couldn't breathe. Your daughter owns the house free and clear. There was never a foreclosure. We checked with the county. The mortgage was paid off in 2017, the year before Emma was born, using life insurance money from your late husband's policy. My husband's life insurance, the one Claire told me I had, the one I thought I cashed out to save her. The document she showed you 7 years ago, the foreclosure notice. The bank statements, we believe they were fabricated. We'll need to verify that, but preliminary analysis suggests they're forgeries. They found Claire at a shopping center 40 minutes away. Emma was with her and Jackson and Tyler. They brought her to the station at 9:30 p.m. They let me see her at 11:15 p.m. after she'd been questioned, after Emma had been placed in emergency custody with child services, after the boys had been picked up by Claire's ex-husband. She sat across from me in a small gray room. No handcuffs yet. They were still deciding on charges. She couldn't look at me. Mom, don't. My voice didn't sound like mine. It was cold, flat. I can explain. 7 years, Claire. She flinched. You let me live in a garage for 7 years. You took every cent I had. You took your father's insurance money and told me I had used it. You fabricated legal documents. You kept a child locked in a basement. She wasn't locked in. She was 7 years old and I didn't know she existed. My voice cracked. Broke. Claire was crying now, but I felt nothing. No sympathy, no maternal instinct to comfort her. I was going to tell you, she whispered. I was going to make it right. I got pregnant and I panicked. I didn't know what to do. And then I realized I could get assistance if I had 3 kids, and it was just supposed to be temporary. And then it just kept going. You chose this every single day for 7 years. I know. Mom, I'm so sorry. You looked me in the eye and showed me fake documents. You watched me cash out my future. You charged me rent to live behind a house you fully owned. You let me babysit 2 of your children while you hid the 3rd one in the basement. I was going to pay you back. The money's all still there. You can have it all back. I don't want the money. Claire, I stood up. I want to understand how my daughter became someone I don't recognize. She sobbed into her hands. I walked to the door, then stopped. That little girl asked about me. Emma. She asked about her grandma. Claire nodded, still crying. You told her I lived far away. Yes. I lived 40 feet away for 7 years. I left her there. The charges came 3 days later. Fraud, forgery, child endangerment, theft by deception. Claire pled guilty to everything. Her lawyer negotiated a deal: 3 years in prison, 5 years probation, mandatory restitution, permanent surrender of custody of Emma. Emma went to live with her father, a man I'd never met, who Claire had kept completely out of her daughter's life. His name was Marcus. He was a software engineer. He'd been paying child support faithfully for 7 years, believing he wasn't. Allowed visitation because Claire had convinced him she had a restraining order. She'd forged that to dot the money, all $340, zero plus the assistance payment she had to pay back, went into a trust for Emma, for her future. I didn't want it. Jackson and Tyler went to live with their father full-time. He was a good man, Claire's ex-husband, better than she deserved. He let me visit the boys every Sunday. They asked about their mom. I didn't know what to tell them. I'm 53 years old, and I'm starting over. I bought a small condo with what was left of my savings, not much, but enough. 1 bedroom, a balcony, where I drink coffee in the mornings. I see Emma once a month. Supervised visits arranged through her father. She's in therapy. She's starting to understand that what happened wasn't normal, wasn't her fault. She calls me grandma now. Last week, she drew me a picture, our houses, side by side. So you don't live far away anymore. She said, I have it on my refrigerator. I don't talk to Claire. She writes letters from prison. I don't open them, maybe someday, but not today. People ask me how I didn't see it, how I didn't know. The truth is, I saw what I was shown. I believed what I was told. I trusted someone I loved since before she could walk. That's not a weakness, but it is a warning. Love doesn't require blind faith. Trust shouldn't mean abandoning your instincts, and sacrifice shouldn't cost you everything. If something feels wrong, even if the papers look real, even if the explanation sounds reasonable, even if it's family, stop, question, verify, because sometimes the person you give everything for is the person who's been taking everything all along. And 7 years is a long time to live in someone else's lie.